floating up in the clouds, but I've always felt that something's missing. That was until I found you right there in the crowd. You came into my life and started a fire. You made me feel like I could touch the sky. Oh, there's nothing missing now that you're my desire. Now all I have to do is to make you mine. 'Cause I know, and you know what we could be. Like a song, like a perfect melody. Baby, don't say you don't believe in me. 'Cause you know, and I know, we're onto something good. You know, and I know, we got something good. I've been waiting for the one forever. Finally I got you, baby, here in my heart. When I'm with you I feel so much better, oh yeah. Before you I was just a shell, so stuck in the dark. You came into my life and started a fire. You made me feel like I could touch the sky, oh. There's nothing missing now that you're my desire. Now all I have to do is to make you mine. 'Cause I know, and you know what we could be. Like a song, like a perfect melody. Baby, don't say you don't believe in me. 'Cause you know, and I know, we're onto something good. You know, and I know, we got something good. Follow your heart, baby, don't be shy. Just follow yours and I'll follow mine. 'Cause I know, and you know what we could be. Like a song, like a perfect melody. Baby, don't say you don't believe in me. 'Cause you know, and I know, we're onto something good. You know, and I know, we got something good. Something good.
Oh man, I gotta fix that. I gotta fix that little music thing where it like starts playing music again. I gotta get the timing down. Actually, it's about time for a new song on the Q&A countdown. I like to refresh the music. I use Canva to do all of my countdown timers, at least as of right now. I am exploring some new alternative apps for creating graphics for streaming, but I love Canva. I'm a certified Canva creative. I know how to use the app. It's fantastic. It's easy to use. You can do awesome stuff with it. I also love that I can make graphics and share them with others where they can do stuff too. So good morning, Tara. I know it is still morning for you where you are. Hello, Rich. It's good to see you here again. And now you're becoming a very familiar face, Rich. You've been joining the streams. If you are here, say hello to me in the comments. That's what we do. This is a live Q&A session. So today we're doing live Q&A. And what that means is you get to ask me whatever you want. Ask me anything and I will answer your questions while we're here. Now, I post my streams a little early so that I can kind of like give you guys time to post questions ahead of time if you want. So I always like to do that and but today I don't have any. Nobody posted any questions today. But I always like to have a topic sometimes that I want to talk about too. And this is a podcast I'm working on. I'm gathering some notes, podcast episode. And so I want to talk about professionalism. It's actually something that keeps coming up where people are talking about, you know, professionalism. They'll ask like, is it professional to do this? Or is it professional? Is it unprofessional to do that? Or, you know, I think it was, I was in a stream. I was hosting a stream for a local community networking thing last week. Was it last week? And someone asked a question about like Instagram stories. And they were like, how do you still Instagram stories, they're supposed to be kind of funny and casual. How do you remain professional? And I was like, ooh, interesting thought, interesting question. I think lots of people have. And it really kind of got my mind brewing up. And I thought that would make a great podcast episode. But one of the things I like to do sometimes for podcast episodes is I like to talk about it with you guys kind of first and get your insights, get your thoughts, your questions, and then address those things on the episode as well as here. So I thought we might chat about professionalism today. So I would like to know, like, what does that mean to you? What does the word professional mean to you? I just posted this on my personal Facebook account as well, and I'm already getting some really interesting, as expected, varying thoughts, right? What comes to mind when you think of professionals? So I'd love to know what you guys think for sure. Hello, Omaha Junior Lancers High School Hockey. I wish I knew your name because this person, OJLHSA. See, that's funny. I can't even say that. Omaha. I'm just going to start calling you Omaha. But yes, welcome back. You've been tuning in a few times as well. It's been fun. Rich is here again, and I love it when you guys come back. It's so great to see your faces because I get to know you, and it's awesome. So, for example, Tara Lamper is here, and I know she's in Anchorage because she tunes into my live shows, and so I love when you come back because it helps me get to know you guys. And to answer your question, yes, I did get my new PC. I am currently streaming with the new PC today. So is this the first stream? It is. So yesterday was my very first stream. No, it wasn't. I take that back. This is my first real stream with the new PC. Yesterday, I had a Zoom coaching call with all my boot campers. On Monday, we do a Zoom call so we can chat back and forth and I can see their faces and they can kind of ask me questions about their webcams and their scenes. And then Thursdays, we do a live Q&A via live video so they can learn how to conduct live Q&As. But today, this is actually my first official stream because I started thinking it wasn't because I did that yesterday, but that was Zoom. And then earlier today, I taught a 90-minute live video class to a bunch of police officers and firefighters and safety professionals who are doing social media for their agencies. And we talked about live video, and that was on Zoom. So this is my first official stream with the new PC. In fact, I went back. I had it right before the stream. I unplugged my Ethernet cable from the old PC and directly plugged it into the back of the new PC, which I did get a gaming computer. I got a Dell G5 whatever gaming computer. It's like middle of the road. It's like middle plus, I'd say. You can buy a $20,000 gaming computer, so I'm not counting those. But so far, pretty happy about it. But it has taken some time to get it configured. When you get a new computer, you got to like update stuff. You got to update software. You got to add software. Holy moly! So today's the first day where I feel like I'm actually kind of like running and optimally running. So. But thanks for asking. That's awesome. So hopefully it looks good. Everything looks and sounds good, right? But yeah. All right. So questions. If you guys have questions about anything, live streaming, I will tell you, I can't answer your questions about the iOS 14 update and how it is going to affect our ads, our Facebook ads. I would say that you want to check out Salome Shellac. Salome is one of my peers, and she just released a podcast episode all about this. Salome Shellac. Let me pull it up for you because I'm just going to let you know I can't answer questions about that hootenanny because that's just not my jam. But that is totally Salome's jam, and so let me find that so you know what I'm talking about. She just released a podcast episode about it, and it's on my docket. I haven't listened to it just yet, but I got her email about it. And I was like, ooh, I need to make sure I listen to that hootenanny. That's the second time I've said hootenanny. That's the second time. And I don't think I usually say hootenanny on the streams, but there you go. 2 times. If we were playing a drinking game, we'd have a good start, wouldn't we? Rich, I see your question. Fantastic. Okay. Hello, Susan. She's here as well. Let me show you who I'm talking about. Salome. And this is, you say her name's Salome. But she is Australian. She's freaking I love her voice. Like like literally I love her voice. So let me pull up her page. Salome specializes in ads. She's awesome. She's fantastic. And she specializes in ads. And so she's kind of like one of the go-tos, but she just released this podcast episode right here. And it's all about what we need to understand about the Facebook, how this new iOS 14 update, it's a privacy policy, it's a privacy update, all those things, how it is going to affect our ads and how our ads perform. And so if you are running ads, or if you're thinking about running ads, I would definitely make sure you pay attention to this update that's going on, because it is going to affect how our ads perform and what we can and can't do with those ads. And so I would recommend that you check out this particular episode from Salome Shellac. So check it out. There you go. I will put a link to this in the comments. If you are one of my groupies, one of my DIY group members, you will not see this comment. But if you go to the stream on my page, you'll see the comment there. So, all right. If you're on YouTube, if you're on my Facebook business page, you'll see the link to this article that I just shared with you. So, okay, let me go back to where I was. Oh, I also have my headphones in today, which I don't normally wear my headphones unless I have an interview. But the reason I'm wearing my headphones is today because I haven't hooked my speakers up to my PC yet. So I literally can't hear anything from the PC unless I have headphones in. And I was like, I like to get warmed up. Like the countdown song has multiple purposes to help you get warmed up, to help you give you time to join the stream, maybe grab a cup of coffee, maybe do what you got to do before you jump in and hang out. But it also warms me up. I like playing music. It gets me excited. And so that's why I do that. So I wanted to listen to it. The other reason was because just in case I needed to do something where I was going to be sharing something with audio, I wanted to go ahead and have those plugged in. But I don't typically wear these unless I'm interviewing because I don't need to. So, okay, Rich, you had a question. Are you doing Zoom through StreamYard? You are the third person to bring this up today, which is very ironic. So no, I wish, but it's so funny because I had someone text me earlier. She was like, hey, do you know if there's an easy way to basically take StreamYard and use it as your video source into Zoom? So what that would be is like, I could do this kind of broadcast inside Zoom. So like today I was teaching, I was a guest teacher in a virtual course, and they're doing all of it through Zoom. Well, it would have been awesome for me to use StreamYard because I can share my screen, I can share slides, I can do all the things. But it does require some duct taping to do it. I didn't do that today, but it was ironic because it got brought up twice today. But so if I were, that would basically be if StreamYard had a virtual camera, which I don't know if that's on their roadmap or not, but it would be, I would open up StreamYard and I would turn on virtual camera. And then when I went to Zoom and opened up the Zoom meeting, and when you select your camera source, StreamYard virtual camera would show up, and I would use that as my camera source. And then that would be the video. You would see what I'm doing in StreamYard in Zoom. That would be awesome. There is a way to do it. From what I understand, Rich, the way to do it is you have to connect StreamYard via RTMP to another app like OBS or something else, and then use OBS's virtual camera over to Zoom. That's the way. I haven't tried it or tested it. In fact, I was texting with Christian, asking him at StreamYard, and I said, hey, do you know if there's a simple way to do this? And he basically said the same thing. I was like, I know it's possible, but I haven't had a chance to dive into it yet. And so we were both like, yeah. I was like, yeah, me too. Same thing. But if you're a StreamYard user, which by the way, I am using StreamYard. This broadcast is totally made. All of this is StreamYard, 100%. So everything I'm doing is StreamYard. I'm not attached to any other app. So I'm not RTMPing. I'm not using anything. I am 100% all StreamYard right here. So I love StreamYard. Fantastic. You're going to hear more about StreamYard from me in the future, because there you go. Next week, I'm going to share something really exciting with you, but I'm still going to be here. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. But what was I saying? Oh, if you're a StreamYard user, make sure that you join the StreamYard Facebook group. It's full of users of StreamYard, and there's, oh my God, I think last time there's like 15,000 people in there. Anyway, people are asking questions like this all the time, and people help each other. I learn how to do new things all the time because of the questions people ask inside of that group. So make sure you're in that group for sure, because that's like where all the questions get answered. I mean, seriously. And so I know people have asked about Zoom and StreamYard before, and I know people have talked about doing it. So that's how I know it's possible, but I haven't had a chance to like actually look into truly how to do it. So hopefully that, I mean, it gives you an answer that it's possible, right? Rich, are you using, I guess I should say, are you doing anything with Zoom and StreamYard together? I'd be interested to know. Okay, so let me take that down. You guys, professionalism. I want to know what does it mean to be a professional too? Because I will tell you why I want to talk about this. Because I mean, if you're not going to ask questions, I'm going to ask you questions. How about that? So here's the deal. I want to know what you think, because I used to have a different perception of like the word professional, meaning professional, because professional could be, we could be talking about professional as in like the professional as in what you do, or professional could be is what you're doing professional or unprofessional. There's my friend Luria Petrucci. She always talks about professional live stream. She's always like talking about, she said to me one day, your streams are getting so much more, you're getting professional. I was like, what? I've been professional. But then I was like, I know what she means. Like she looks at that word as like technically skilled, like technically better, like the technicality, they are becoming more professional. She looks at it as not amateur, but professional. Right. And so I was looking at it as, wait, I don't look professional. Right. And so it means different things in different contexts. But this came up again last week, as I said earlier, that somebody was asking on a stream. They said, hey, Facebook stories, Instagram stories are supposed to be kind of funny. And this came up with about TikTok inside my Facebook group one time. They're like, I'm not funny, or, how do you do those but still being professional? And I was like, I mean, it kind of depends on what your definition of professional is. Right. And so it kind of opened up this interesting thought process in my head, because I do think that this kind of goes back to personal branding, right? And I always say one of the super key elements of you understanding your own personal branding strategy or your own personal content strategy, even in a business, is you have to know what your boundaries are, right? What are your boundaries? Because for example, if I say SHIT on stream right now, and I say it, some of you'd be like, oh, that is so unprofessional. Whereas others of you it may not matter. Right. And so, but it's all about your boundaries. And so that may not be a boundary for me. My language may not be something that I care about the perception of others, but professional in some regards actually is what others think of us. That's what we're getting it to be. Right. So it's kind of like, but then there's the whole context of professional is whether you're talented or not. So like Laura Williams says, I think it means you have integrity. Totally could be part of the element of what you're saying. Alexis says, more polished, right? Maybe you're saying my streams are more polished. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, it means different things to different people. And so I think that it's definitely one of those things where we have to understand, because sometimes there may be things that get said to us or things that are expressed to us, and we got to know what professional means to us. Here's my thought on it. I think professional means whatever the hell you want it to mean. That's what I think. I think that, if you want to wear a t-shirt when you teach a class, that's your MO, that's your thing. If somebody else is going to think it's unprofessional, then that's their perception. And they also are allowed to have that perception. It can mean whatever they want it to mean. What you have to think about, though, is your brand is going to be perceived by your audience based on their own personal dimensions and their own personal boundaries. And so this is why I continuously am so passionate that we are our true, authentic selves, because if I decide that my clothes are going to matter, which they can, and it's fine if they do to you. If I decide I can't go on video unless I'm dressed up or dressed a certain way, or I need to make sure everything's just right, polished, right? The word polished can mean different things to different people. If I do that, and then you come join my course and I get like raw in there and I'm like joining with you guys, I'm jumping in all the time and teaching stuff, and I don't look that way. And maybe I'm a little bit more real. That's like, you're almost like, you feel like bamboozled, because is that the right word I want to use? You feel like, hey, what the heck? I thought she was like Miss Dress Up and professional and whatever. And now she's like cussing and whatever. Those are two different types of brand experiences. And So this kind of goes back to people saying, well, on my business page, I do this, or on my LinkedIn account, I'm this way, but over here, I'm this way. Well, okay, we all have like a version of in the office and a version of us out of the office. For me, that version is a lot closer together to the same person. It didn't used to be because my career was different. If you work for yourself, you represent yourself. If you work for another company, you represent that company, and that you have to kind of fall under the umbrella of their definition of professionalism, especially when you're acting or doing things on behalf of them. But when you're self-employed or you own your own business, you own it. You own it yourself. And you can decide, I say that I use this all the time. Sometimes I drink beer or I grab a cocktail while I'm talking to my audience live. I do that sometimes. And if somebody thinks that's unprofessional, here's the thing. That's okay. They're allowed to feel that way. I don't care if they feel that way, but they're probably not a good fit for my course. They're probably not a good fit to hang out here and keep coming back and sticking around. If they truly are annoyed or they think that's offensive. Now, they can still think it's offensive and then still find stuff I'm doing valuable. That's their own boundary that they decide. They decide, you know what? I don't love that she says that or that she drinks while she's streaming, but man, I really have learned a lot and I appreciate that. That outweighs how I feel here. That's a personal decision. So the whole professional thing, professionalism, all goes back to personal branding, boundaries, the dimensions of your own brand, and it means to you what it means to you, right? Totally. So Alexa says, I think it's also boundaries around what you share and how you share it. Yes, I totally agree. The line between being real and vulnerable versus sharing your life coming off like a hot damn mess, sharing the right things in the right way, maybe. Yes, 100%. So again, to be authentic online doesn't mean you have to share everything. Your own boundaries define what you share, what you don't share. I have a really good friend. He is an exceptional marketer. He's very, very popular. He's making multiple six figures. He's using social media. He's great at marketing. He does not show anything about his wife and kids on any of his content. That's his own personal boundary. But we still get to know this person. We can still get to know him. He doesn't have to share everything with us. He can still be authentic online, right? But he doesn't have to share everything with us. And so that's kind of what I'm getting at when it comes to that. So I love what you said, Alexis. I totally agree that comes, you can filter what you share. What I'm saying is when it comes to authenticity is don't fake stuff, right? You can have a particular type of professional. Your definition of professional is this, right? And maybe this is the casual version of you. Your own personal boundary may say, this isn't appropriate for social media. That's actually okay. That's totally fine. My point is that if that's that, and then all of a sudden you start working with people, they need to know that there could be a difference if you're going to show up like this. It all matters how you show up. So if you need to filter how you show up based on what you define as professional versus casual or behind the scenes or not for everybody else to see or know, that's fine. You just filter those and you put them into different buckets. And then you need to understand that when an audience comes in over here, and if that is truly your filter, then you got to always show up that way. Right. And that's what that means. So to me, that's what the whole professional aspect is. It's a personal decision that is your business and yours alone. You have to make your own decisions. I used to teach students at Ball State. I see we've got some questions coming, which is awesome. I want to answer those. So I used to have some students as they were in college. I used to teach an entrepreneurship course, and they were always like, I think it sucks that I can't post stuff on social media because, prospective employers might be looking and they're going to judge me and not hire me because I posted a picture of me at the bar with my friends. And I was like, that could happen. That could happen. You have to understand though, that you're at a particular season of your life and you still have a choice that you can decide, I don't want to go work for somebody that's going to think that me posting on my personal social media account, I'm over 21, I'm hanging out with my friends, and there's a picture of me with a beer in my hand. If an employer does, you can feel a little my filter coming out. If an employer says, we're not going to hire her because of this, well, then maybe you don't want to go work for that person, because if they're going to do that, think about all the other stuff they're going to dictate. However, you may be needing to go into a very regulated industry who serves alcoholics maybe they don't want that as far as the people that if you're trying to apply to be like a coach, that's probably not a good picture to have on your personal social media. Right. So it depends. It depends on what's going on. So yeah, these are sacrifices we have to make. There's stuff I don't post about online. Y'all know me. If you know me, I'm very transparent, but that is me. That doesn't mean that has to be you. My point is that you have to make these decisions, what's appropriate for what's going on. And it could be temporarily in your life, or it could be just based on what you're looking for. So if you're trying to change something, maybe you need to change the content you're putting out there too, and manifest some of the stuff that you want to come towards you, right? And so if it means that you want to be able to be, so my personal story in this regard, when it comes to like the look and feel, is I used to go out to the local coffee shop and I would not go there unless I had my makeup on and I was dressed for the day, not like even in like super casual stuff. Because when I started my marketing agency 6 years ago, I was like, well, who knows who I'll run into? It's like this local coffee shop and it's where who's who go. And I may find a new client or someone may ask me, hey, let's talk. Are you able to help me with my marketing? If I'm in like my workout outfit, or if I'm in a t-shirt and like shorts or tank top and shorts, they won't take me seriously. And I used to think that. And so when I went out and about during the day, I used to make sure I was kind of like dressed, right? I wasn't like in a suit or anything. And then one day I kind of got to the point where I thought I actually was working with someone and we were talking about their strategy. It was like deep work. And I felt like I was living in somebody else's skin because I was still upholding that particular image, where I really wanted to be up at the whiteboard and it was like 4:30 and I was like sketching and I wanted to be like, when we're done, let's go grab a beer. But I didn't feel comfortable with that. And it was because I had created this perception and this persona to this person. So I kind of got to the point where I was like, man, I'm manifesting that. I want to work with somebody that is going to let me be me in the way that I want to be. And so I started saying, screw that. I'm going to be myself all the time and I'm going to manifest it. And it's attracting and repelling. You're going to attract the people who don't have that particular judgment towards professionalism. And again, there's nothing wrong with this. I know people that are like, they wouldn't be a good fit for me and I wouldn't be a good fit for them. And that's totally fine. So you're repelling those people who are going to judge you because you're in your yoga pants at the coffee shop at 10 a.m. and you're working and they're going to judge you for it. Well, they probably wouldn't be a good fit for you to work with, right? If that's who you want to be. So again, all goes back to manifesting and all that stuff. Do you guys see that I keep I'm holding this and I've been holding it and I got it out to put chapstick on and I kept forgetting. So there, I'm gonna put that down. Okay. Rich says, by the way, I love powerful women who swear. So in my book, you're okay with shit. I love it, Rich. That is so funny. You just made me laugh so hard with that one. That was great. Go where you're celebrated, Rich says. Exactly. Alexa says, I love this so much. Yeah, you got to be your own person, right? Laura says, I am a Ms. Frizzle inspired. I do not totally know what that means, but I'm going to go with it. I'm just going to laugh. Okay, so Susan says, I'm going to get to some questions. So if you guys have questions, even about this, put them in the comments. Okay. Put them in the comments. I just kind of wanted to talk about this today because I am getting ready to record an episode and I wanted to kind of get perspectives. Susan says, I love how you're describing this. It reminds me of dating profile pics. Yes. If you're going to use a 10-year-old photo, you may want to disclose that yes. Oh my gosh. Susan, so perfect. So perfect. Y'all know how freaking passionate I am about profile pictures. So I actually have an entire podcast episode about this, but I've been talking about this again lately and I want to talk about it again. So tomorrow, you guys, I just scheduled this. I've got my girl, Brittany, coming on the show tomorrow, and we are going to talk about personal brands and profile pics because you guys, that is essentially what we're talking about right now. Personal brands. Your personal brand is you, but Brittany is an actual she's a photographer, but she helps people with the whole graphic aspect of their personal brands. I mean, she's amazing. So we're going to talk about what it looks like to have a personal brand and visually, what does that look like? But we're really going to geek out on profile pictures because that is I'm so passionate. So I always say your profile picture is the first, perception. I don't want it to be of your puppies. I want to see your face and I want to see your face close up. So we're going to talk about that a little bit tomorrow, but she's going to drop some tips tomorrow about how you can DIY your profile picture. But exactly what Susan said. I mean, I have close friends that I love. They're near and dear to my heart. And I'm always like, your LinkedIn profile picture has to be at least 10 years old. What is up? And they always say, well, I mean, I don't have very many pictures of me like in a suit, like it's my headshot. I'm like, your headshot is old. Like you don't look like that anymore. Your hair doesn't even look like that anymore. We got to keep that stuff fresh. We got to keep that stuff fresh. So, okay. All right. I'm going to jump in and answer a couple questions. I see we have a couple questions. Oh, hold on. Here's one that's related to what we're talking about. Let me switch this up. Hot second. Okay. Rich says professional, what it means to him. Do you earn money from what you're doing? How do you present yourself? I.e., I stopped listening to Tony Robbins when he started swearing because it wasn't congruent with the Tony I followed for years. Gary Vee, on the other hand, knew what I was getting. I knew what I was getting from the jump. That's a really good point. So what he's talking about is when someone shifts gears, they start out as one particular style and they shift. That can be, disrupting is not really the right word I want to use here, but it's what's coming to mind. It can disrupt your connection to them. Rich, something I want to open you up to. Just open it up. Okay. I think that we're seeing an evolution in professionalism. And I think that we're seeing shifts. I mean, think about 20 years ago. Would you expect, let's just say I was on a show. Would you expect cussing and drinking? Not probably, right? Just we're seeing an evolution in what professional looks like. We're seeing that a woman can be viewed as a professional expert in something without having to wear a power suit, right? For example, we're seeing when you go to business casual meetings or events, it can mean you wear jeans and a blazer. Whereas before jeans were a no-no in business casual, right? And so we're seeing a shift. And so what you're experiencing with maybe I don't know. I mean, I know who Tony Robbins is and I don't really follow him, but maybe he is shifting and opening up maybe he's always cussed. I'm going to guess he always has. He just didn't show that side of him. And now he's decided he wants to change his filter. His boundaries shifted. His boundaries changed. Maybe he changed. So people can change. It doesn't mean you have to continue to like them because that can be disruptive. Or maybe there's a particular space that you are in when you are consuming that person's content and you just don't want to be there. That's okay too. And then all of a sudden they change. That's okay. Rachel Hollis is another example. Rachel Hollis has gone through major life changes the last year. Major life changes. And I follow her. She's shifting and changing. She's cussing more in her content, in her podcast. She's, used to talk about how she did not drink alcohol because she used to self-medicate with it. And it was a problem. And so was really careful. To her, like every once in a while, she'll share like that she's drinking a vodka, in her Instagram stories. She has repelled a lot of people because of that change. And that's okay. But she's changing, right? She's changing. She's going through some changes in her life. And so that's why she's changing. But that doesn't mean that you have to stick around, right? But I don't know. I'm just sharing some perspective, I guess I wanted to say. Rich. And you have to realize my kids are in their mid-20s and early 30s, drop the F-bomb, like the word, enter them is no big deal whatsoever. Yeah, I'm pretty selective when I say harsh words, right? I just, I get that. That's a harsh one. I mean, if you're going to drop the F-bomb, especially repeatedly, you're going to be attracting and doing some significant polarizing work there. Tara says, I rarely swear, but a customer told me that when she hears me swear, she perks up and knows I'm super passionate about what I'm talking about. Exactly. I mean, it is what it is. It's all you. I know that a woman I follow, she swears when she's behind the scenes, but she doesn't swear in her content. And if she does, it's usually a slip. And I remember one time, it was being talked about inside a group. And this one woman basically was saying, she was like, thank you so much for not swearing and yada, yada. And she was like doing it in a way where she was really being passive aggressive and putting people down who do swear in their content. And she was like over exaggerating the appraise towards it. And all these comments flooded in. It was so interesting to see the debate. But there were these people, they were saying that when they hear cuss words, it creates negative vibrations for them. It reminds them of their childhood and things and stuff. So again, everybody has a different experience with it all, right? Okay. You should do a whole show on the success industry. Yeah. The gurus, I've got some interesting stories about how that's impacted what's going on in my life. I'd love to hear an intake on gurus. Yeah. You know what? man, that's a like a broad topic, isn't it? Big broad topic. Okay, let me go up. I think it was somebody had a question. Da, 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 da. Okay, Rich, you were kind of adding more. Oh, hold on, let me get to this. Rich says, looked all over Canva for the Q&A you're using. What should I search for? Let me find it. Hopefully it's still there. Yeah, so what Rich is talking about is, I have had these headphones in all day and they're starting to hurt my ears. I think I might take them out. I'm going to take them out. They've been in my ears all day and it's 2:30 and they are starting to hurt. So what Rich is talking about is this. Let me go find it really fast. Let me just go type in here real fast. I think I just typed in Q&A in the elements, but let me do it first before I make myself look like a fool. Let's go to logo. Okay, so elements, search, Q&A. Oops, I gotta type that right. I really need to get a new situation here because it's not coming up. Rich, it might be gone. I remember. Okay, so let me just show you guys what I'm doing here real fast so that you know what I'm doing. Share screen. Oops. Here we go. Okay, so I'm in Canva. And when I go to Canva, you want to go to elements and you can use these filters and you can type in animated. And then you can search for things like, let me just say question. Okay, there it is. Look, I actually typed Q&A first and it didn't come up. But if I typed in question. And look, here's other ones that we could use as well. So there's your Q&A. That's how I found it. So you go up here and you search, but then you want to do a filter because if I didn't do that, look at all the other stuff that comes up. It's a bunch of things. He was looking for the animated one. So there it is. Now what you want to do is what I did to create my GIF overlay. And I got lucky on it, but I just did like another element. Oops, get out of there. Go to gradients. And I picked one of these and just sort of, that wasn't the one I picked. I think it was like this one. I don't remember. Do that, go position backward. And now we have our thing. Now, of course, I then had to export this. I exported it and then I had to use unscreen, which sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. But for this particular one, it worked. So yeah. But here's the thing. I actually am doing some research and I think I may have found another app that I'm going to be playing with that might make creating these animated GIFs easier. So the trick to the animated GIFs is it has to have a transparent background. And Canva at this time, when we go to export the file, we only have so many options. And whoops. So we have like PNG. And if I selected PNG, it would freeze this graphic. And if I did, it would be a frozen graphic. This needs to be an animated GIF for it to work in your stream. And so, but when we download a GIF file, we don't have the option to make it transparent, which is called an alpha channel. So if this were just a static image, this would be transparent if I selected transparent background, which is how you make your overlays, right? So the overlays are things like, let me show you one of the new ones I'm playing with. Oh, look at that one. How fun is that? Or that, like if I'm doing a demo or something and I'm kind of talking, granted I could make it covered up, but I could also be like this and just go zoop, and I could talk about my new podcast episode, right? So I'm kind of playing around with trying different things with overlays right now. These are just silly ones, but the point is that these are all, I make these in Canva, but then I export them as with a transparent background. That's how, and then I even make the graphic itself a little transparent. So they're not perfect. They're perfectly imperfect right now. But the point is that you can't export them as an animated transparency in Canva. So like these guys, these fun things. Now you can go to Jiffy and find some transparent GIFs like this, the confetti. That's from Jiffy, straight from Jiffy. Party Parrot, I had to minimize and put down lower in Canva. And then I use an app called Unscreen, which removes the background and lets me export it as a transparent GIF file. It is not perfect though. It doesn't always work correctly. And so I've been looking for a different solution. And I think I may have found one. I was watching a tutorial and I need to play around with it. So Desiree Martinez, who is somebody else that is, you guys should all follow. She's awesome. Her YouTube channel is fantastic. She's also a StreamYard partner and she shares all kinds of stuff, but she just did a tutorial and I was like, what? I need to check this tool out. So she may have cracked the code on an easier way to make these animated GIFs. Whew, my goodness. Let me see. I saw something else I wanted to look at. Somebody posted something else. I'm looking. Oh, Stephanie was here. I missed that comment. Stephanie, hello. Okay. Whoops. Oh, this is what it was. So Rich was saying he's getting ready to do a live virtual conference and he wants to use StreamYard, but I'll jump back to vMix if needed. Yeah, I know. Here's the thing. I have not checked it out, but Rich, I'm sure you're aware that StreamYard was recently acquired by Hopin. And Hopin is a virtual conference company. And so I think that there's going to be some exciting developments that come with the connection of these companies. But yes, as of right now, I think that what you would need to do, but so Rich, I think if you're using vMix, Rich, I believe you can use RTMP, send StreamYard to vMix and then send vMix to Zoom. If that's what you were doing, that might be what you want to try. And then you would just, vMix is really just the interface. Its role is to interface you. So maybe check that out. I would imagine if it's possible to do with OBS, it should be possible to do with vMix. So if you're still watching, Rich, I would check that out since that's what you're trying to do. You guys did not really come with questions today, but we did have some fun conversation about professionalism, didn't we? Okay, so I want to remind you guys. So here's the deal. Tomorrow at noon, Brittany and I are going to have a conversation about personal branding. So if you guys are like, need some help with, okay, what does it mean to have a visual? What does it mean visually to have a personal brand? Because personal branding is like, we think, how do I have a brand that's me? We're going to talk about that, but we're also going to talk about profile pictures. And she is going to give you guys some tips. She is a photographer and Brittany's going to give you guys some tips on how to create your own, take your own picture for your own profile picture. So I'm really excited about it. You guys, I'm very passionate about profile pictures and I'm going to cover some of the things and reasons why I believe it matters. And I'm also going to give you some of my opinions around what I think a profile picture should do. Brittany's going to share hers as well, but then she's also going to share with you some tips on how to take your own picture. So be sure you tune in tomorrow at noon Eastern. So that's tomorrow. I've already scheduled it. I just scheduled it. So like always, you can go, click on it, get notified, subscribe, whatever you need to do. And you can also post questions. Something else I'm thinking about doing, I'm thinking about bringing, when I bring my guests on, I'm thinking about doing rapid fire questions and they only have so much time to answer it. Like, how cool is that little timer I just popped up? All being done with StreamYard. All of this is in StreamYard, nothing fancy here. So this is something cool that I recently discovered. You can upload an animated GIF into the logo section of StreamYard. Yes. So I made this little timer. It's a minute long, but I think what I'll do is 30 seconds. Maybe I'll do 20 seconds. Anyway. And so every time, I ask the question, we start the timer and they only have that much time to answer the question. And so rapid fire. And then I turn it off, turn it back on. Isn't that fun? Isn't that so fun? I want to do this. And so I literally I think I might try to, I'm not going to do it to Brittany tomorrow. I'm not going to do it to Brittany, but I'm thinking about doing that, having rapid fire questions and having the timer. But I wanted to share that with you because how cool is it to have a little timer in your thing? So I'm going to make it shorter, but you just upload that into the logo section and that's replaced. Now, granted, it does require a paid subscription to StreamYard to have a custom logo. So, okay. I don't see any more comments from you lovely people. And so I'm all about getting back to work. I'm all about letting you get back to work. Let me know in the comments if you guys are going to join us tomorrow about this personal branding stuff. If you watch the replay, and I would love to know what your thoughts are as well. So feel free to comment and let us know. But you guys, same time, same place next week, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern, we'll do another live Q&A. And I'm going to be jumping in, creating this podcast episode about professionalism. So make sure you tune in. Maybe I'll quote you. Maybe we'll talk about what you said in the podcast episode. But man, I just think it's such a crazy topic and it's all over the place. So I'm trying to frame out how I want to talk about it. But I do think that it all goes back to how things are changing in our life right now. So Tara says, I'll set my alarm. Sweet Tara, man, do you drink coffee? Tara, do you drink coffee? I feel like you do. I feel like you drink coffee, but if you don't, do you drink tea? How do you wake up in the morning? Anchorage, Alaska. It's very dark. Also, it will be very early. It will be nice and bright and early for her tomorrow. So what time do you drink coffee? I'm curious. I'm always curious to know because you always are here and maybe I'll just send you a bag of coffee. I really might do that. Did you get the podcast book, by the way? She says, yes. I'm curious how long it takes to get things to Anchorage. Did you get the book? Crystal's podcasting book, Crystal Profit, my friend her amazing podcasting book, How to Start a Binge-Worthy Podcast, that book right there. Tara won that inside my group. So I'm curious if she got it yet. Because I know things sometimes can take longer when we have to send things to Alaska, but I'm going to send you some coffee. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order you some coffee. She got the book. Yes. I'm going to order you some coffee. I'm going to ship you coffee because literally, Tara, I think you've literally been on every single one of my live streams for like 2 months straight. And I think it's awesome. And you're always tuning in really early in the morning. I'm going to send you some coffee. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you some coffee from my friends at the Caffeinery here locally and send that up your way. So, all right, you guys, I am going to end this stream. We're going to get on with our day. You guys are going to go do awesome things. I think that next week's going to be great. I think tomorrow's going to be awesome. So much going on right now. But you guys, next week, I have something really fun I'm going to let you guys know about, some exciting news. But also, FYI, Friday, I am going to be talking with Christian at StreamYard about the animated GIFs, about these animated GIFs right here. These guys, how to make these for your streams, right? We're going to be talking about these. So if you are interested in that and you haven't tuned in before, we're going to be talking about that on Friday, that process, how to make those. So you guys kind of got a preview. You guys got a preview today. I'm going to talk about it, but that's okay. No big deal. Friday, I think that's at noon on StreamYard stuff. Hold on, let me look. Oh boy. I hope it's not earlier than that because Tara is like, it's at noon Eastern, StreamYard's accounts. Go check them out. But we're going to be live. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week, Tuesday at 2. If I don't see you before, well, tomorrow at noon. I'll see you guys tomorrow at noon, right? All right. I'm rambling. I'm out. You guys go have a great day. Go be awesome and be professional.